Welcome one, welcome all to episode 237 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. On this edition, we'll talk about Jamar Chase's suspension, quarterback situation in Atlanta, and we'll also give you a look at the current playoff picture going into week number 11. All that plus we'll talk about the Commanders' loss to the Dolphins in overtime, a Ravens win over the Browns, and the Chiefs falling to the Denver Broncos. And as always, wrapping up with the Kirby on Sports PickEm. That all comes your way next on the Kirby on Sports podcast. Once again, welcoming you to episode 237 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. A huge thanks to all of our sponsors: Frederick County Parks and Recreation, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett, Pest, and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, New Look Landscaping, The Cider House, and Barry Pearson with Equipment Share Advanced Solutions at 540-935-1069. The Don't Sleep Energy is the official energy drink sponsor of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Use promo code KOS podcast for 12% off your order every single time. Lots to get to on episode 237. We welcome in the first member of our team, the Weapon, Dan Dembski. Another week and another podcast. My friend, great to see you, buddy.
Good to be back, man. Good to be here. Another week in the books. It's crazy. The season is flying by at warp speed, man. It's we're starting to see some things come together. We're starting to figure some teams out, and I think more than anything else, we still have a lot of questions about some teams as well.
Yeah, I agree. So the next member of our team,
ladies and gentlemen, he's the greatest picker of all time, the three-time Pick EMS champion, celebrating with each and every one of you tonight. Champion for over 1,000 days. Please welcome the one, the only, the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, your eyes do not deceive you, because finally the Swiss Army knife has returned to your lovely ears. All right, bring me down.
It never disappoints, Carlos. It's an honor and a pleasure to have the 1,000-day reigning, defending Kirby on Sports, three-time pick'em champion.
Oh my God, he botched
in the room.
You should just start taking the intro over, Carlos. There's just no reason to have him do it
Oh my God,
anymore.
he botched it.
Hey, now it's an honor and a pleasure, Carlos. How's it going, bud?
Oh, it's just another day of being successful, and just we're another week closer to retirement, boys. I mean, at this point, we'll talk about it here in the Pick'em segment. But my God, can one of you please be the Cody Rhodes to my Roman Reigns?
Enough. We're not trying. At least I'm trying. Kirby, are you? To catch him?
I'm trying, but it's not working out too well. I'll go with that.
My dream was for Kirby to do it, to finish the beautiful story. Four-time loser?
I guess.
Yes.
Four-time loser. The four-time loser finally winning the Pick'ems challenge with his name on it.
Yep.
And dethroning the most dominant picking champion there is. And this guy can't do it. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. And it
I'm
doesn't
gonna
look like
leave.
it's
I'm
doesn't
leaving.
look like it's
I'm
going to
leaving
change.
as the forever champion. That's
it's
what's
certainly not going
happening.
to. Yeah, it's certainly not going to change anytime soon. We're going to need some things to really swing the other direction if Kirby's going to have a shot to get back in it.
Fingers crossed.
I think even for me, it's getting hard for me to catch up at this point. I'm really going to have to also get some real upset.
You
picks
boys
to go my
need to
way.
lock in. All right. I'm tired of carrying this pick'ems. Okay.
Yeah.
I understood. Well, let's get into it, boys. It's the headline segment to start out the show. Here's a very interesting segment, a little scuffle in a game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. It looked like Jalen Ramsey was ejected from this contest, but nobody noticed that Jamar Chase spit on Ramsey. Jamar Chase obviously didn't get ejected from this game, denied it in the post-game presser. After further review, he will be suspended 1 game without pay
It's a good move.
for this incident.
Yeah. Quite simply, I think it's just kind of speaks to the Bengals season, right? The pure frustration that they've had. I think Jamar Chase's actions kind of reflect that. So, it's also, I mean, the Steelers and Bengals, we know the rivalry. We've seen it a lot over the years. Those two teams do not like each other. It's also not surprising that Jalen Ramsey was involved on the other side of it because he's been known to kind of get involved in those types of extracurricular activities after the play. But of course, he wasn't the one who did the despicable act. It was Jamar Chase in this situation. But this is just, I mean, this is just how it goes, unfortunately. Not the spitting, but the disagreement between the two players. Obviously, I will never defend a player spitting on another player. It's absolutely despicable, and it has no place in the National Football League or in any sport for that matter. So the NFL is doing the right thing by suspending him 1 game without pay, and that's the kind of thing you have to crack down on. And to me, again, it just goes back to just the overall frustration that Jamar Chase and overall the Bengals have felt this entire season. So that's kind of what I chalk it up to.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin said he really has no words for anybody who
I liked his response because it was perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like he didn't get into it, but you knew how he felt about the whole situation. He made that pretty clear.
Yep,
So.
I mean, it's evident there's no place for that, and
Nope.
I completely agree with the NFL's ruling. And for him to lie about that too in the postgame presser and everything, that's why. That's exactly why a suspension is deserved. Why would you fib about that?
No, the lie is not why. The act alone was
The
enough for
action.
suspension.
Yeah,
Like
but,
the lying,
that
the
adds
lying
weight
is
to
just
it.
the lying is just, it's just like I don't know what he expected that nobody was going to catch that on camera. Like there's 50 million cameras inside of an NFL stadium. You're going to catch your actions. Look, this is a disgusting trend that's been happening this season. In football in general. Obviously, it started with the first game of the season with Jalen Carter. Like, spitting on a person is disgusting. It's absolutely unnecessary. And come on, we're grown people. Like, there's no reason to be spitting on people. Like, what is the world coming to at this point? Like, I don't know. The suspension was correct. Jalen Ramsey, I think, had the proper reaction, in my opinion. You can't just let, at that point, the gloves are off. Like, dude, you're not going to disrespect me like that and spit on me and not, have retaliation at all.
100%.
So however he was going to react to it was correct. And I understand he got ejected from the game, but, you just like, you're just not going to let somebody do that to you.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't catch it until after the game that the inciting incident was the spitting. But yeah, for Jamar Chase to, sit there and lie about it, it made the situation even worse because it's like, you knew what you did, and now how can you be seen as a trustworthy person? So,
it kind of ruins his credibility, right? I mean, down the line.
Yeah, 1 game suspension was fine. I'm okay with it. And I think he's going to lose even more money because of it, more than just his game day paycheck. Like he's going to miss out on I think it's a $50,000 bonus because he's going to have to be inactive for a game.
Yeah. I think, and if you disagree with me, let me know. But it goes to the officiating, back to the officiating where they didn't spot a foul like this,
How does it go back to officiating?
I think the NFL reviews.
Explain your position a little more.
Yeah.
Like, you see, like, Amon-Ra St. Brown punched Ron Payne and officials right there. You would think with those officials on the field, you'd see something and flag it with him spitting like that.
Okay, but it could, again, we're talking about human beings.
Yeah.
Maybe they're in a bad position and they can't see it. Maybe they were just at a bad angle. So I can't put it on the officials for missing something that even a majority of the cameras missed. The only reason why people caught on to it was because there was a nice 8K camera from
shot.
NFL Films that caught it.
Right.
So it's like, it's not as if the broadcast, like even the broadcast didn't catch the spitting incident. It's not as if the broadcast was showing it the way that NBC caught Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
This game was on CBS. Yeah, CBS didn't catch it. They weren't the ones who showed it. Again, the video came out after the game. And even when you see it, like, it wasn't even an on-purpose shot. Like, the guy running that camera was adjusting his shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and he just happened to catch it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't do this whole, the officiating thing. Now, what needs to happen is, again, like, the NFL needs to implement a VAR type system into the NFL. They already do expedited reviews and stuff like that. But, like, they need to be able to go back and see, like, what incited incidents like this. That way they can properly punish all parties involved when somebody gets ejected.
Because that always happens, right? The officiating always
catches the second guy.
Right. 85 to 90% of the time, I'm going to say that they always catch the second person to react to whatever the first person did.
Yep.
And that's just kind of the law of the land, if you will, when you think about officiating and how these events are officiated. But I think you're exactly right, Carlos. They have to do something to delve out, reasonable punishment at the time. I think waiting to make these decisions it doesn't just hurt. I guess if it's a serious event, it could hurt the team, right? If the team gets fined or whatever. But there has to be something more done to. We have the technology, we have the ways and means to be able to address this more swiftly. But it just goes back to the officiating not being what it could be, which I think is a larger issue that we've talked about seemingly every week on this podcast for the last however long we've been doing this. It seems like we talk about it every week at this point. So
yeah,
the NFL reacted in the right way. Again, Carlos hit the nail on the head. The officiating to miss this in real time, just with their blind eye or just with their normal, being human beings, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I'm glad they adjudicated it and got it right afterwards. But it does beg the question that can more be done to make it, more efficient from the start, which I think it definitely can.
So that's the situation there. So from the top, Jamar Chase will be getting a suspension, losing out on some money there. Let's get into the next headline. This one just really baffles me, boys. And I'm not sure if you're in the same boat here, but the Falcons obviously falling to the Panthers, first time the Panthers sweep the Falcons in a long time. Division rivals, obviously. But Mike Penix gets benched for Kirk Cousins, and in the press conference, Raheem Morris is like, "Oh, there's no competition. Mike's our guy. He just had a bad game." And reporters are asking, like, "So are the quarterbacks like exempt from any competition?" Which I don't really understand the situation. Come to find out, Michael Penix might have a season-ending injury. So I think there's a lot of just confusion in Atlanta right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but this is also just the classic head coach answer, so we can't look much into that side of it. Most of the time the head coach is not going to say there's a quarterback competition, even though you could argue that's the case. I mean, Kirk Cousins didn't play any better than Michael Penix, so it's not like we're talking about Kirk Cousins coming in and winning this game and playing well for the Falcons. Where they still lost the football game, and Kirk Cousins didn't really make a difference in this game. So, his answer makes complete sense to me in that respect. Now, the injury issue with Michael Penix throws an interesting wrench into this.
Yeah.
So I think that also kind of describes his answer to kind of not have an answer, right? Like, it's just an odd situation, right? And the Falcons they've made some interesting decisions with this team. We talk about the quarterbacks, obviously signing Kirk Cousins, he fleecing and yet another franchise in the Atlanta Falcons. Then going and drafting Michael Penix, which a lot of people questioned right after the big Kirk Cousins deal. It really didn't make a lot of sense. They're a mess now, and I think a big part of that is because of the quarterback play. But I mean, I really have nothing else to add. This is just a team to me that's kind of been a mess for quite some time. I don't think it gets fixed just because if Kirk Cousins does start from here on out, I don't really think it's going to make that much of a difference. I'm pretty sure we've seen Kirk Cousins reach his ceiling as an NFL quarterback, and it was quite a while ago. So, I mean, I wish the best for Michael Penix Jr. I hope his injury, I mean, I don't know if there's official reporting that the injury is as severe as they expected. I didn't see anything today, but hoping that that's not the case and he can come back at least at some point in this season. But Atlanta's got a lot bigger issues they're going to have to address in this offseason if, things keep trending the way they have, 10 games into the season. So, that's really all I have on that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think the more concerning thing about this whole situation, I don't care about that whole entire nonsense that you started this whole thing out with of, oh, there's no competition. I think the more concerning nature of this story is the fact that Michael Penix is injured once again.
Yeah.
I mean, he got injured twice at Indiana. And there were 2 season-ending injuries. He's getting another season-ending knee injury again. That's concerning because this kid is not even, I don't know how old he is. He's under 26. I know that much. But like he's having these
25.
season-ending knee injuries that are going to hinder him as his career goes on. And it's clear that his knees can't hold up. And obviously they're getting a second opinion on it and everything, but by all accounts, like his season's probably done. And also the Falcons just aren't necessarily that great right now. They have great talent and they should be in a better position. They should be fighting for that division, but at the end of the day, Michael Penix has been very good. And Kirk Cousins has also not been very good anytime he gets a step on the field. I agree with you, Dan. That was a mistake that they made by signing Kirk Cousins and then drafting Michael Penix. Especially with such a high draft pick, too, getting
Right.
Penix. Penix wasn't really regarded as like a top prospect coming out of the college ranks that year.
Yep.
He was slated to be maybe a second rounder, if I remember correctly, or a late first round draft pick. Not really a guy that you need to, use an early draft pick for to build your, to make your franchise guy, because nobody really saw that type of talent. I don't see that type of talent out of him when I watch him play, even when he was lighting it up at Washington for that season where they made the national championship game. But this is the bed that the Falcons made. They have 2 quarterbacks right now, one who's definitely over the hill and isn't playing the way he used to play. The you like that Kirk Cousins that Josh Kirby fell in love with. And Michael Penix, who is just not, I just don't think is going to be a guy who's going to win you a Super Bowl in Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, look, that's my thoughts on the story. I think that's the more concerning thing is the fact that again, Michael Penix has a season-ending injury, and he's only in his second year in the NFL, third year in the NFL.
I
believe it's a second.
Second year, correct? Yeah, he played last year as well.
Yeah, so
I mean, this is a team in a full spiral, right? They've lost 5 straight games after beating Buffalo, surprisingly, way back when. I mean, they have not been able to find ways to win, and it really goes back to that position. I mean, I don't know if Kirk Cousins is gonna change anything there. He might give you some flashes, right? Like, let's not put that past him that he can, as all old quarterbacks tend to flash it now and then, they can still make the plays, but. Yeah, this season's a wash, and it's very unfortunate. I'm sorry I misspoke at the start and said that I wasn't sure if they confirmed, but it looks like, as Carlos alluded to, and as I've obviously found as well, that they pretty much confirmed it's a season-ending injury. At least that's the fear. So, very unfortunate situation for the Falcons. We'll see what direction they go this offseason. I think that's going to be what a lot of people are going to ask, right? Like, is this going to be another time where they have likely another high, at least a top 5 draft pick? Do they go out and draft another quarterback? I mean, I don't really know. Who's really.
I don't think Atlanta has a first round draft pick this year. I think they traded it to the Rams, didn't they?
Oh, you might be right. You might be right.
That adds a twist.
That throws a wrench into things. Yeah. Let me see.
That adds a very big.
If memory serves me right, they don't have a first round draft pick this year.
But don't we remember we were actually doing the
draft
show, and we were all shocked when Penix was picked
because it just didn't make sense.
Yeah, it was a silly pick. And sometimes you just see those, right? Like,
Atlanta had the 8. They traded to the Rams.
It's a Daniel Jones for the Giants type of pick, where obviously now it's worked out for him. But
that's right. Yeah, you see, so my memory's coming back to me. Yeah, they traded to get back into the draft to get a pass rusher. I can't remember which one it was. And they traded their first round pick and their second round pick to the Rams, their first round pick for this upcoming draft. And it's looking like it's going to be a decent draft pick for the Rams, who are already super loaded as it is.
Yeah,
they're like that's a sweet deal for the Rams because it has not worked out for the Falcons. Falcons are going to have like a top 10 pick at least.
Yep, at least.
So the Rams are about to get even,
the rich
about to get a decent draft pick coming up here. Despite the fact that they're the Super Bowl favorites for the NFC right now.
Totally nuts. Crazy how this has all worked out.
So in terms of your point, Dan, of like, are they going to use a draft? They can't. They don't have a draft pick to use to get another quarterback. So they're kind of stuck with Penix. I think Kirk Cousins this is his last year on that deal because I think the deal was, I think it was only for 2 years. It could have been 3, so there might be another year. But I think after this year, they can get out of that deal without taking a major cap hit.
It looks like the cap hit is still pretty extensive. Actually, I don't know if it's 40 million cap hit. This deal goes through 2027, so still got 2 more years.
So he still has 1 more year. So it's a 3-year deal.
3-year deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're stuck. They're stuck. They gotta hope that Penix comes back next season and makes a huge leap and like actually shows that he's the guy, because so far he hasn't shown to me that he's a franchise guy.
Is Kirk Cousins going to be a Jet next year? Are they going to be able to get the Jets to take on that huge?
Probably not.
I mean,
just look at the Jets.
They went with they tried Rodgers. They're not going to try Kirk Cousins.
He's a little bit younger.
The Jets situation too, just as bad, man.
Yeah.
I feel
the Jets are like
they're a bad organization.
I don't. That's on them. Like yeah. I don't care about that.
They've been a bad organization our whole lives, pretty much.
They made those miracle runs to the AFC Championship game in Rex Ryan's first 2 years, and since then have done absolutely jack. and
Skadoosh,
they
squadoosh.
won a Super Bowl with Joe Namath and haven't done jack since.
Yep. Black and white.
So speaking of Super Bowls, let's talk about the playoff picture and where we stand after week 11 as these teams in the National Football League fight for a Lombardi trophy, if you will. Starting off in the AFC, the number 1 seed, if you can believe it, the Denver Broncos. The number 2 seed, the New England Patriots. The number 3 seed, the Indianapolis Colts, and the number 4 seed, Pittsburgh Steelers. Coming in at 5 would be the Buffalo Bills in the AFC. They would travel to face Pittsburgh. The number 6 seed would be the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to face Indianapolis. And the 7 seed, the Jaguars traveling to New England. Obviously, in the NFC, the number 1 seed, the Philadelphia Eagles. The 2 seed, the Rams. The 3 seed, the Chicago Bears, who are on a winning streak right now. The number 4 seed would be Tampa Bay. The number 5 in the NFC would be the Seahawks traveling to Tampa Bay. The number 6 would be the Packers at the Bears. And the number 7 seed, the Niners at the Rams. So a lot of different teams that probably we wouldn't have expected come the beginning of this season, but that is how the playoff picture is shaking out at this current moment.
Yeah, I mean, the big surprise, obviously, in the AFC, you said it at well, you got 2, really. Maybe 3, because I think the Patriots being the number 2 seed as well is kind of insane to think about. But obviously the Colts, the Broncos, Patriots, and Colts in that order are the top 3 seeds in the AFC, and I think most surprising to me, especially, no one had the Colts and Patriots. I think people in the regular or in the preseason rather, were definitely, boosting the Chargers as a team that could make the postseason. Oh, thank you for that. That's helpful. But, the rest of the AFC to me is kind of interesting. I look at, obviously, Pittsburgh as the 4 seed. Obviously, as a Ravens fan, the schedule for Baltimore much more favorable than Pittsburgh from here on out. So I think a lot of experts have the Ravens winning the division. Pittsburgh might have a tough time in the back half of their schedule. And then you look towards the bottom there with the Chargers. I mean, I don't know if I see that them staying as the 6th seed, to be quite honest. And obviously you look at the teams on the bubble, the 8th seed being the Texans, who are probably not going to make it. The 7th or the 9th seed being the Chiefs, and the 10th seed being the Ravens. Obviously, everyone's going to be paying attention now to see what happens with Kansas City. This is the first time they've been on the outside looking in, and the first time they haven't been leading the division, much less as a number 1 or number 2 seed. So this is unknown territory for Andy Reid and that team. So it'll be interesting to see how the AFC shapes out. I think I'm a little more interested in, obviously, since my team is an AFC team, on that side of it than the NFC. I'm not surprised by a ton on the NFC side. I will say, obviously, the Bears being the 3rd seed right now has been a welcome surprise with the performance, especially of Caleb Williams and what he's been able to do this season to, I think, quiet a lot of the doubters, myself included. Again, I don't know if it leads to long-term success for the Bears, but I like what he's been doing. I think outside of that, the NFC, really not surprised by much. It's a really, really tough bracket on both sides. So those are my overall thoughts. Obviously, I think the AFC is going to be more talked about and more intriguing with some of these surprise teams at the top of the bracket and some of the teams that we're used to seeing at the top being, out of it right now, out of the postseason. So those are going to be the big conversations, obviously, that we talk about each and every week, I think, for the last, little bit of this season.
You guys do realize that there's a real big possibility that we have none of our teams in the playoffs this year.
It's very real. It is very real right now.
It's a very real possibility, just considering. Look, I mean, the big surprise, I mean, on the NFC, I mean, we knew who the good teams were going to be. We knew Philly, the Rams were probably going to be good. We thought Green Bay was going to be better than what they were. They've been very lackluster here recently. Chicago, we thought that they would make a leap just because they're going to get a better competent coach, Ben Johnson, but he still was going to be a first-year coach, so we weren't expecting them to necessarily make this big of a leap where they are now. But a lot of Bears fans don't necessarily believe in this. That, they're like, oh, we're like the worst 7-2 team in history. But I'm like, I don't know about that. I mean, don't forget Pittsburgh, like a few years ago, I think it was like 2020, 2021, where they went 10-0, but we all knew they were fraudulent. Right. Like Chicago, I think, is actually a okay 7-2 team. I mean, they've won the games. I mean, it's not like they've necessarily beaten all scrubs. Tampa Bay, I mean, they just got to get healthier.
Yes.
And maybe we'll see them. We'll see them back again to where they were playing at earlier in the season when we were saying Baker Mayfield might be the MVP. But yeah, I mean, look, Philly obviously still doesn't necessarily look that great, but they're like the Chiefs last year. They are finding ways to win despite not winning impressively. And the Rams the Rams look fantastic. I think they're the scariest team in the NFC side. I mean, AFC, I'll obviously talk about Denver and Kansas City a little bit later, so I'll reserve my thoughts on that. New England, we've talked about extensively, their comeback. Indianapolis. I mean, this bracket looks like 2011, the early 2010s of the NFL. Like,
I agree there.
Like is Peyton Manning suiting up for one of these teams? Is Tom Brady back? Like, is Blake Bortles on the Jaguars, and that's why they're in the
2017. Don't forget, Blake Bortles was a legend.
Is Ben Roethlisberger back in Pittsburgh? Like, what is going on here? Woo.
It is a wacky bracket on the AFC side.
Yeah, this is like old school. Like the AFC side, just like it's like we went in a time machine.
Yeah,
but totally look, all in all, like this is what it looks like now. I don't think it's gonna look like this at the end. Obviously, there's a lot going on. Pittsburgh's not even favored to keep their spot. Baltimore's still, the favorite to win the North. The Chargers could easily fall out with all the injuries. We saw Jacksonville just like shellac them.
Yep.
And Denver, just I got to reserve my thoughts on Denver because we have that segment coming up later. And New England, I think they got the clearest path right now because like they literally have one game against Buffalo.
That's it.
At home.
Yep.
And they beat Buffalo once,
and they beat Buffalo already at Buffalo. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting race in terms of seeing who the seeding is. And then of course it'll be interesting to see if Kansas City makes it in and if Baltimore makes it in. We already know the Commanders aren't making it in, so we're not going to throw them in the conversation, but anywho, that's a lot. Look, this is an interesting, I mean, who would have told you that Denver and New England would be the top two seeds? No, Denver, New England, and Indianapolis were going to be the top seeds going into week 12, going like right before Thanksgiving. Like they're going to be the top seeds.
I would have said
that's crazy.
Way. I would have said no way. Yeah, exactly. Wow.
So that's the playoff picture, and that's going to wrap up the headline segment. Wait, I have a wild card. One more headline. 1 minute or less. Here's the wild card.
Oh, no.
It's random, but we'll go with it.
Oh, my God. Spit it out, bro.
James Franklin, Virginia Tech. Dan, your thoughts?
I knew he was going to throw this in here, by the way. I was going to just suggest it, but I knew this wannabe Hokie was going to bring it was going to bring it on here.
To this actual Hokie who's wearing his VT alumni weekend shirt. Yes, I like this move a lot. I think it's a smart hire for Virginia Tech. It makes a lot of sense. Look, if he can accomplish at Virginia Tech what he did at Penn State, which is he made the college football playoff one time at Penn State. I think that's a few times. Yeah. Last year,
at least when it expanded for sure.
Right. Last year, I think it was last year, 2 years ago that they got to the semifinals. So if he can do that with Virginia Tech, that is way better than positioning than Virginia Tech has seen in
decades,
20 plus years. Yeah, 20 plus years. So I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm glad we made the hire early before the season ended. I thought Virginia Tech handled it really well. And let's not forget, there's still a ton of college football openings out there, and a ton of other places James Franklin could have landed. I'm glad Virginia Tech was able to snag him up, and I think it's gonna. I think he's gonna turn this program around and get them at least winning again. Maybe not winning to what fans expect. Let's not.
Well, don't expect it to just turn around like next season. Like he's got it.
Well,
I mean, it didn't happen at Penn State immediately. It took him time to get, Lord, to get his to get a foothold in the success that because Penn State was in shambles when he took over
after the Joe Paterno and
then obviously after the Bill O'Brien and all that stuff. So yeah, it wasn't like he immediately got it on track. Virginia Tech is not in a good place football wise. We know this. They haven't been great in decades.
10 years it's been.
I agree. I think this is a great hire for Virginia Tech. He's a phenomenal recruiter. He's good at building a program. Obviously, we see he's not necessarily great at winning the biggest games, but I mean, when you're playing against Ohio State, Michigan, and Oregon now, and all these big schools, it's going to be tough. Now, granted, he was losing at home, which was unforgivable on a whiteout. You can't lose.
Correct.
But especially when they had expectations of being, in the conversation for being in the national championship game. You can't do that. So I think this is good for Virginia Tech. I think this made the most sense for James Franklin just because it's a chance to revive a historic program that has not seen success in decades, like I said. And I think he really likes that challenge. He did it at Penn State. He wants to do it here at Virginia Tech. And dude, the ACC is light work. He's going to have so much success once he can get that going.
Is going to be huge.
He can make Virginia Tech into a powerhouse. And I hope he does. I hope he succeeds because I would love to see Virginia Tech back on top again.
I would. Yeah, and you took the word right in my mouth. We know how tough the Big Ten is top to bottom. I mean, it's just loaded with talent. So it's not a surprise that he lost some of those big games, as you mentioned, Carlos. He can definitely make a splash in the ACC, and I think, a 10-2 record, 9-3 record in the ACC could legitimately take a team to the playoff. I mean, let's just call it what it is. So I'm excited. I think Virginia Tech made the right move. They handled everything well with the council and everything they had that was reviewing all this stuff, that was working on the hiring, and I think it was handled well from start to finish, and I'm excited to see what happens next year and for this season to be over, because it's been, quite frankly, brutal to watch this team this year. It's just awful team.
And just my final thought on this, and Dan, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but apparently
I will.
They added more funding for something like this to happen, and they made pretty good on that funding, I would say.
Yeah, they'll be top 3 in the ACC now of football spending, which they were towards the bottom before. So that's going to make a big difference too. You're going to come into a program that's going to be willing to spend more money, and you can focus on recruiting and doing what you have to do. And then the money side of it, which we know now plays a big part in college football, the NIL stuff and those types of endorsements and things like that. Will come into play, and the school will handle more of that. So we'll see how they handle that. I'm curious to see if they have a GM type of position that a lot of schools have gone to in that respect to handle more of the financial side or aspect of it. There's a lot of questions there, but happy that the school's going to spend more money on this, and obviously happy for James Franklin coming in. So I think it's going to turn out well for both sides.
That wraps it up for the headlines. Coming up next, the home team report right here on episode 237 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Stick right here with us.
This holiday season, step into the magic of walking in a winter wonderland at Clearbrook Park. Presented by Finch Oral and Facial Surgery. Celebrate 25 years of sparkling tradition as you stroll a half-mile of beautifully illuminated pathways where twinkling lights dance to festive music and memories shine bright. Create new traditions, capture the wonder. Walking in a Winter Wonderland opens November 28th through January 1st. Order your tickets now at fcprd.net.
For sports fans living in condominium and homeowners associations, as well as business professionals, when you need a reserve study, PM Plus Reserves has been in business since 1990. Their studies are accurate and easy to understand. Check them out when your association needs a study. www.pmplusreserves.com. You can also contact them at 703-803-8436. Once again, www.pmplusreserves.com. Is it finally time to upgrade your home's interior? How about with an authentic farm table made locally from recycled barnwood? Shenandoah Primitives, based right here in Winchester, Virginia, makes farm tables, benches, tables, coffee tables, and a long list of other items for your home decorating needs. At Shenandoah Primitives, function and style are combined for great furniture that will last generations. If you're interested in combining the industrial look of metal with wood, or considering something incredibly unique with a live edge, Shenandoah Primitives turns those ideas into reality. Thinking about a mirror, wine rack, or other accent piece for your home, Shenandoah Primitives can assist with that as well. As a local small business, Shenandoah Primitives is happy to work with each client for a custom design or schedule an appointment to come out and view current inventory. Local, high-quality, handmade items can be found at Shenandoah Primitives. Find us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at www.shenandoahprimitives.com. Once again, that's www.shenandoahprimitives.com. And we are back, episode 237 of the Kirby on Sports podcast with the weapon Dan Dembski, the Swiss Army knife Carlos Martinez. I am Josh Kirby. Getting into the home team report, we got to start off with the Commanders' 16-13 loss over the Miami Dolphins. Morning football, I'm not used to that. It's been quite some time since I've seen Washington football playing overseas, but I'll tell you, started off really good with a nice all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet.
Oh God,
it was lovely, man.
Did you have any cream cheese with your breakfast, Kirby?
No, I did not. Thank you for asking, though.
Okay.
But so not really too many complaints after that breakfast and some coffee, sipping on some coffee.
I'm sure that's a lie, but we'll let it slide this time. I'm sure there were complaints afterwards. Come on.
Not really. I mean,
Kirby,
basically
stop lying. Stop lying.
Come on.
You know there was complaints. Now, do I think you lost your mind? No, absolutely. No. I don't think you lost your mind because you have already reset your expectations. But I know you. You get this weird little tick whenever things go wrong and you start cursing. I know you were going.
Yes.
No.
Carlos and Dan, truth in podcasting never rests. By the way,
never rests. It's always watching.
24 hours
always
a day.
Watching.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest. It just seemed like more of the same. You could see the defense playing a little bit more tougher, but that's because the Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins, but they just kept running it up the middle on 4th and 1. Why don't you take the points there? But it seemed like both teams tried to give this game away, and the Commanders did a little bit more to give the game away. At times, the defense was flawed, but the defensive line seemed to play a little bit better. Marcus Mariota, he did what he could do, made some good throws, 213 yards. He only threw 10 incompletions and an interception towards the end of that game. But the nail in the coffin there was Matt Gay missing 2 field goals. Yeah. You have those field goals, the Commanders might win this game. And
now he's gone.
Yeah. And guess, did you see who replaced him?
Another kicker.
No, the kicker who kicked the game-winning field goal for the Bears at the Commander Stadium.
How many kickers has this team had in the last 6 years?
Too many. Too many. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's it's
I mean,
just another one.
Can you just find a kicker?
No,
Hey, I hear Justin Tucker's available.
there are no massage parlors close by to land over.
No, he's banned from all of them in that area. Remember?
Yeah,
all of Maryland.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No, but
Oy vey.
this, I mean, the kicking situation seems to always be terrible when
Yeah.
it's Washington.
They have struggled to find.
I mean, Zane Gonzalez kicked the game winner in Tampa Bay last year, but they let him go at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
There's not one area of their football team where I can say, and I think I said this last week or 2 weeks ago now. It seems like we say it over and over, but there's not one area where I can say, yeah, that area is good or that area is passable.
Wide receiver.
Yeah. I'll give you wide receiver. Because Deebo Samuel's like putting the whole team on his back, but
And then when Terry gets to play, pretty good.
But
when he plays, that's the thing.
I mean, there were some good spurts, but overall it was the same stuff. The
Well,
injuries.
you guys are baking on Marcus Mariota with his noodle arm. Like, obviously,
his
we know he's
prime.
not the starter, but like, he's not a great backup either.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that pick at the end was just, I mean, it was a horrendous pass by Marcus Mariota, and kind of a poetic that the game would end like that because it was just ugly. It was
Just want to give you guys a score update because I'm watching USA Uruguay right now. They're up 3-0 on Uruguay.
Isn't it 3-0? Carlos?
It's 3-0.
3-0
on the 30th minute. Shut
the
the hell up,
30th.
man. All right.
30th, 30th minute.
You're
wow.
the type that goes, oh, it's not whatever. It's not 40-0 in tennis. It's 40 love.
No, I don't. I actually don't do that in
You
tennis.
stooge.
Okay.
Just in
So
case we have people who might call us out in our comments.
So
Big
let,
tennis podcast.
Yeah.
let me ask you two something.
Okay.
Did you see the transformation video on switching that turf from soccer to football?
So I am a Barcelona fan, so I don't support the Bernabeu whatsoever. I don't give a crap. I think that stadium will always be doo-doo.
Okay. Dan,
And
did
the
you
Camp
see
Nou
it?
is a much more beautiful stadium. It's going to reopen soon, actually this weekend. And
Where's
to hell
that?
with Real Madrid and their crappy stadium.
Where
They can- never mind,
Barcelona?
I can't say that on this podcast.
Yeah,
an
but you
off-air
said
conversation.
Barcelona, right?
I'm a Barcelona fan.
How far is that from Real Madrid?
Very far.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was in close proximity.
No, Barcelona is more closer to France.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Did you see that video, Dan?
I did not.
So apparently, there's a set of elevators that just brings the turf up, over, and connects, and then the old turf comes down and replaces it. I saw it. I'm like, that's crazy.
So they put turf over the grass, is what you're saying.
No,
Or the lawn.
I think
No, it's natural grass. It's so I lied. I did watch the video. I was just making a point. No, so basically Real Madrid's so it's not a new stadium, right? They just renovated the whole entire stadium. It was a massive project that they did because this Bernabeu is a super old stadium, but they have modernized it in a way that's just incredible. Honestly, it really is. And one of the things that they did is they included a vast underground system for the grass, essentially. And they have two different types of turf, one for NFL events and one for soccer, because obviously the soccer grass is going to be different from football grass.
Sure.
So what happened was they took off the soccer grass, but the soccer grass is like, it's basically like little slats essentially, and it slides off and goes underground, and then it's replaced by other slats of grass essentially.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very neat to see what they
It's
were
a
able
very
on
high
that.
tech stadium.
Yeah, we could take notes on that here for sure.
Oh, I mean, honestly, Europe's got a lot of the best stadiums in the world.
They do.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do. Yeah.
So that was the first game ever in Spain. They played it at Real Madrid Stadium.
It's a Santiago Bernabeu, bro. Not Real Madrid Stadium. The Santiago Bernabeu.
The Santiago Bernabeu. Got
Yeah.
it right.
Good enough.
Bernabeu.
Well, that wasn't bad.
I can't tongue roll, so.
Yeah, well, a lot of my white friends can't do it.
So, let me ask you all this. Let me pose this question. Playing at Santiago
Oh my
Bernabeu.
God. Just call it the Bernabeu. That's it. Just call it the
Playing
Bernabeu.
at the Bernabeu in Spain where Real Madrid plays. The Commanders lost. Is there an argument to relegate the Commanders now?
No.
Shut the hell up, dude. You got
There-
there's worse teams.
Yeah,
in the
there's
NFL.
worse teams
The
this
Browns
year,
should be
especially.
relegated.
I was just kidding.
The Jets
Because
should be relegated.
The Jets should be the Jets should be relegated. Agreed,
Yeah.
100%.
I just wanted to bring out that joke since we did play at the Bernabeu.
Don't get Carlos fired up now. All right, don't wait till his segment. He'll get a
You've
fire.
already made
lit
me
under him.
crash out before. Don't make me crash out again.
Yeah.
So I don't really have much else to add to this game, but
I don't either, because honestly, I didn't pay attention. I was traveling. I had just gotten back from a trip, and I honestly slept through most of that game.
I saw the very end. I had watched enough to see the last interception and the Dolphins game-winning kick. That's all I saw. Yep.
the breakfast class act though, loved it. Absolutely,
Jeez.
It did not. I mean, no.
Yeah.
We talked about this off air. My breakfast is better.
I'll have to try, but until then,
I'll have to try it.
I'm craving some
Like you don't know. Like
gravy,
you already
man. Oh
don't
my
know that my cooking is 10 times better than anything you could get
Come
anywhere
on.
else.
Yeah, his food's legit.
Carlos, can you make good biscuits and gravy?
No, because I don't. Move on.
Yeah, let's.
I'm not going to insult 90% of our audience here.
98.6, I think.
All right.
And honestly, I could. I could.
He could.
I know how to make sausage gravy. It's not freaking hard.
Yeah, doesn't take much.
All right. Episode 237, the Kirby on Sports podcast. When we return, we talk about a Ravens win over the Cleveland Browns.
You may have heard the saying, it's not if your home will get termites, it's when. At Barrett Pest and Termite Services, we're doing our best to refute that saying one home at a time. Our thorough inspections and treatments are designed to keep your home or business termite-free. Termites cause $5 billion in damages every year. A preemptive inspection is one of the best ways to keep that from happening to you. Because once you see evidence of termites with the naked eye, you can be sure they've already been at work for some time. Put a stop to termites and the damage they do by calling Barrett Pest and Termite Services 540-340-3922. Barrett Pest and Termite Services 540-340-3922.
Hey there, Kirby on Sports Podcast fans. Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate here for you. Remember, if you have any real estate needs, buying or selling, I'm your guy. I would love to help you out. And you can also find me on my own personal podcast, Iconic Talk, where you get a chance to learn about the local real estate market and why Winchester is an amazing place to live. Reach out to me anytime, 540-247-1527, and find Iconic Talk anywhere you get your podcasts.
It's Jason, General Manager at Shenandoah Music, here to tell you all about... Jay, what are you doing here? Well, Matt, I'm trying to tell the people about our selection of guitars, basses, keyboards, drum sets.
I know that, but I always do the radio spots.
You get to have all the fun. I want to tell everyone about our huge selection, unbeatable prices, unmatched service, and in-depth knowledge.
Jay, I really don't think now is the time to discuss.
So remember, folks, when you think music, think Shenandoah Music in Winchester.
That's my line.
And we welcome you back to episode 237 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. So glad you took time out of your day to be with us. It is greatly appreciated. The Baltimore Ravens defeating the Cleveland Browns 23-16. As always, I'm joined by the weapon Dan Dembski and the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez. Once again, the Ravens over the Browns. Dan, seemed like the Ravens were, not doing the best against this Browns team, but in the end, they got it done. And it wasn't from Lamar Jackson. It was a fake tush push by Mark Andrews. What an athletic play that was. Mark Andrews just faking it out. Oh, man, getting that win.
I know I've been very critical of Todd Monken in the past, especially this season. That was a genius play call, and I'm surprised we haven't seen other teams try this. But yeah, it was really Mark Andrews' day for the Ravens. I mean, first of all, he breaks the franchise record for receiving yards in a career, which is crazy to think he's been there the same amount of time as Lamar Jackson. He's already broken the receiving yards, the team record, which was great. And then obviously the big touchdown run, as you talked about, to kind of put the game on ice there in the fourth quarter. I don't have much else to say about this game. I think Lamar Jackson quite simply did not play well in this game, but the offensive line was, I mean, the Browns pass rush was all over like Lamar Jackson and these running backs as well. We really couldn't do much offensively. So it was going to take a play like what happened with Mark Andrews to break off sort of a trick play, if you will, for them to win this game. And sometimes you have to go to those types of things when your regular offense is not working, and the Ravens had to do that. Obviously, for the Ravens defense, a very good game. I mean, the Browns offense we know is pretty awful, so that certainly helps. They made Dylan Gabriel look bad, and obviously he got hurt, so they bring in Shedeur Sanders for his first NFL action, and they made him look bad as well. So, yeah, the Ravens defense kind of, I mean, they did enough to win this game. They kind of made life miserable for the Browns offense. And this is one of those games where you just kind of say a win is a win. It wasn't perfect. It certainly was not what it should be. But in the NFL, and we've seen it a lot this year, we've talked about it over and over again, it's all about winning. It's not about how you win, how many points you win by, or any of those things. It's just about pulling out the dub. So the Ravens were able to do that. And obviously another favorable game this Sunday as well against the Jets, which is probably even worse than the Browns. So hopefully,
hey, you guys are facing Josh Kirby's favorite Hokie, Tyrod Taylor.
That's right. He's back. Can't get rid of him. He's back again. But yeah, I don't have much else to say about this game. It was one of those slow, kind of boring type of games, and quite frankly, I started getting interested more in what Carlos's team was doing and going back and forth and watching more of that game, I felt like, which also had a similar, final score as well, which is funny. But that's really all I have. I mean, my overall takeaway, the Ravens offense, for the most part, struggled except for Mark Andrews. He was able to, break away on that long touchdown run. And then survive and advance. It's like I said right after this game. It's just about surviving and advancing at this point in the season when you have these types of games. Is it 4-0 now? Wow.
I will say.
Yep.
I
Please say something, because I got nothing for this game.
Yeah, I will say, there you go, America. Shedeur Sanders played in an NFL
shut the
game.
hell up. Don't do this nonsense. All right, shut the hell up. Look, we are talking about Shedeur Sanders coming in, not getting any reps with the first team.
Which
you're about to sit here and blast him for having a terrible performance.
They threw him into a bad situation.
No. Stop the cap. That's what you were just doing.
It did sound like it, Kirby.
Look. Do I think Shedeur Sanders was going to absolutely change? Is gonna this world talent that is just being treated unfairly? No, absolutely not. Look, at the end of the day, he's a rich kid who just isn't playing football. That's it. He's fine whether he plays football or he doesn't. But at the end of the day, people like you, Josh Kirby, who are going, there you go, we got to see him and it was terrible.
No, that's not what I was implying.
Anybody who does this nonsense skit, it's just like, hey, the Cleveland Browns have really not done Shedeur Sanders justice. They don't give him a chance.
I agree.
I mean, the offensive line was literally saying they had never heard Shedeur Sanders' cadence before.
That sets up for failure.
It's just, they put him in an impossible position. They did him dirty. The fact that they don't give him any first team reps at all during practice. Why did you draft the kid? Why did you draft both him and Gabriel at the same time? It's clear you guys don't actually want Shedeur Sanders. So why the hell is he on this team? I don't get it.
It could only be the Cleveland Browns, Carlos.
Judge him this week. Let's not this nonsense skit that you're about to try to pull, Josh Kirby. With your whole, there you go, America. You saw him. Yeah.
That's not what I was trying to imply. I was just saying we finally got to see him because everybody was like, why isn't Shedeur coming in the game?
Just the way it was
What's
delivered.
up with Shedeur? And I'm blaming Kevin Stefanski because why are you giving him first team reps? It's ridiculous because you're not putting him in a position to win. And Kevin Stefanski, can I speak tonight? Kevin Stefanski, he's like, oh, yeah, Shedeur's going to stay the third string. I'm not.
Yeah, he's a moron. He's a
yeah.
moron.
Well, what's the deal with that? I'm not blasting Shedeur for having a bad game. I'm just saying this is not the way to do it. Shedeur has a lot of talent, and I think he can play better than what he did.
Real quick, though.
Kevin Stefanski.
Real quick, let's throw this out there. Let's throw this out here. During training camp, he was legitimately the third string quarterback because you had Joe Flacco, then Dylan Gabriel.
But the quarterback,
hold on. Let me go on.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, but then once you traded Joe Flacco, and again during training camp, it wasn't just Joe Flacco. You had Kenny Pickett in the building too. You had
5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, they had a bunch of quarterbacks that they were giving reps to. Shedeur just was not part of the plan. Obviously, they let go of a lot of the quarterbacks. They let go of Flacco. They let go of Pickett. I'm pretty sure either Huntley or Josh Johnson was on this team too. I can't remember which one it was.
Huntley.
I think it was Huntley.
Yeah,
right. They were getting reps too, and then obviously Dylan Gabriel was getting reps too. Dang, 4-1 now. Anyways, so with all that being said, it's like okay, like I can understand during training camp and as the season has built up, yeah, but at this point in time, you know Shedeur's your second string quarterback.
Yeah,
you have to give him some reps here and there to prepare for the possibility that your starting quarterback gets hurt, because that's always a possibility. I'm positive in Kansas City that oh my goodness, his name is escaping me. Oh my God, what is his name? Wow, I can't think of his name right now. Why am I forgetting my backup quarterback's name right now?
For the Chiefs?
Yes, for the Chiefs.
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew. Jesus, his name escaped me. I was like, I can't
we never
think of his
see
name. Oh my
Barely
God.
ever see
Old age. Guys, don't get old.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Don't get older. Your memory starts to go. Yeah, Gardner Minshew. I'm positive he gets some reps.
He gets some reps.
I'm positive he gets a couple reps here and there. He's not getting a ton of reps, but at least he's getting enough reps to where the offensive line knows his cadence.
This is just the Browns being the Browns. I mean, I mean, how many times can they be the butt of the joke of the NFL world? It continues to be the case, and this is another example, just another chapter in that book of Browns fans' misery. And the Browns just being the Browns. I mean, Carlos, you nailed it. You covered it pretty much from top to bottom. It's a total disaster and a mess there. I just think it's time for the Browns. If this is what they're gonna do with Shedeur Sanders, then just trade him. Then just find somewhere to send him to another team that will use him, or at least if they're not going to start him or play him, then at least he knows what he's getting himself into, because he probably got drafted by the Browns thinking he had a good chance to play, and unfortunately they have not let him do so. So it's just been totally botched from the start with this team. And obviously you saw him struggle on Sunday, but he came into an impossible situation. I mean, you're talking about a terrible offensive line, really no good receivers, really no running game either. I mean, it was a bad situation, and at that point in the game, the Browns had to throw. So we saw him throw a good bit as well. It's just a mess. It's a total mess.
What, 4 for 16, something like that? 4
for 16 with one pick. I apologize. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. So, I don't know where it goes from here. It appears the Browns' plan is to keep him as a backup, and like Carlos said, to not give him those reps in practice, which to me is crazy. Because if Dylan Gabriel's out for any short time, this could become a real.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel's in concussion protocol. He's most likely not going to, get cleared for this game. So more than likely, Shedeur is going to be the starter going into this next game for the Browns. So
We find out
And that's
tomorrow.
what I said.
Yeah.
This is the time that he's going to get his, reps with the starters finally, and we can properly judge him this week, or this week then compared to obviously on Sunday.
Right.
Something that we have not talked about is the fact that Myles Garrett had another monster
Oh
game.
man.
He had another, 4 sacks on Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah, Myles Garrett having a monster game. And, we talked about this a few weeks ago about how, obviously he decided to take the money. He decided to stay in Cleveland instead of go for legacy. And that it's hard to feel bad for him. But yeah, it does kind of suck to see him putting up, these types of games. And normally if, your star defensive players having this dominant of a performance, you would expect your team to win. But every time he does this, his team loses.
Doesn't matter. Right. He's doing basically what Joe Thomas did. He's having a Hall of Fame career with Cleveland while the rest of the team is not good. So that's kind of what I would compare it to. But yeah, he has been a thorn in the Ravens' side for years now. And yeah, this is a concern I have for the Ravens, is the offensive line being unable to block. I know I've mentioned these guys before, but like they just don't block anybody. I mean, it's crazy how many times Myles Garrett was in the backfield, and if not for Lamar escaping a couple times, probably 2 or 3 more sacks in this game from Myles Garrett. So I have big concerns for the Ravens' offensive line moving forward. I think that's the position group I'm most concerned about, especially as we get here into, late November, early December, as we start thinking about the postseason, if this team is going to participate in it, that is, they keep winning. They have to do something to shore up this offensive line. It's a big concern. And obviously, if you want to block one guy on that defense, it's got to be Myles Garrett. Like, there's no one else you can really highlight, right? Like, he's the lone standout and has been for quite some time on this defense. And they did not do a very good job of that. I mean, the whole Browns defensive line was pretty dominant. I mean, they just dominated at the point of attack, and the Ravens were not able to slow them down. So that's my biggest concern moving forward with this team, for sure. And yeah, that's really all I have for this game, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think you all summed it up perfectly. The Ravens with another win over division opponent in the Cleveland Browns. This is episode 237 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. And after we take a quick 30-second break, we are back to talk about one last matchup. I'm sure we will be diving deep into this one. We will be right back.
The Cider House is now open on East Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester. The Cider House is open starting at noon Wednesday to Sunday. Stop in for a wide variety of ciders on draft, as well as 4 Virginia beers, wine, and ready-to-drink canned cocktails. Don't miss our lunch specials featuring our house salad. We also have dinner specials too. Stop in today at the Cider House, located on Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester.
And we welcome you back, episode 237 of the Kirby on Sports podcast, with the weapon Dan Dembski and the Swiss Army knife Carlos Martinez. I am Josh Kirby. The Denver Broncos at home defeating the Kansas City Chiefs. They improved to 9-2 with a 22-19 victory over Kansas City, a game-winning field goal to seal the deal. This game was back and forth, competitive, but it seemed like Denver wanted it that much more. I'll let you fill in the blanks, Carlos. But, I mean, Travis Kelce came down and score seemed like, Chiefs could have had it in the bag, but the Broncos...
They're back in their old ways, yep.
Yeah, the Broncos just went down. I think Bo Nix fired a deep pass to get set up, and then the running game just did the rest to set them up right in field goal range and get the win in front of an electric crowd there in Denver. And with that, expanding their lead onto first place, so it's harder for the other two teams to catch up. So, Carlos, yeah, I know you probably have a lot to say about this one.
I mean, we can pretty much kiss the division goodbye. 9 years of winning that thing, and we were really hoping for the 10th. That way we could have that double digit just like the Patriots did, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen at this point. I don't think that should be the concern for the Kansas City Chiefs at this point. They need to just focus on getting into the playoffs. Because I think the division is gone at this point. It's not improbable. It's not like it's gone completely, but like a lot of things have to go the way of the Chiefs for them to win the division. And I just don't think that needs to be the focus. It needs to be one game at a time, and understanding that the margin for error for this team is gone. There is no more margin. Due to this loss, this game against the Colts has now become a must-win, and every game here on out has become a must-win, because the teams in front of us, for the most part, have a win on us. Jacksonville has the tiebreaker on us with the head-to-head matchup. We still have a game against the Texans, so we'll probably beat them, and then we'll have that. We have the tiebreaker against the Ravens should we need that. But I mean, I see this team like it's either their best chance is getting in as a 7th seed and then having to go play the 2 seed. So there will be no game at Arrowhead this year. The Arrowhead Invitational will be permanently on the road this season, should it happen. Look, this game was extremely frustrating from the aspect of we all knew how important this game was. This was a must-win game. We could not come out and play terribly. Like, we had to get going. And this whole it was made even worse because like we were just coming off the Buffalo game, which obviously I wasn't here to react to and give you guys my thoughts on that game, which really was a frustrating game, but it was one that was a little easier to swallow because we always lose to the Bills every year at home. It's their Super Bowl. You know, we know that. But we knew how important it was to go into Denver and come out with a win, something that we should have done. And again, we were coming off of a bye week. So like we had enough time to self-scout and to come up with a game plan to beat this Denver Broncos team, who I still personally don't think are very good, at least offensively. And not to mention, they don't have Patrick Surtain playing. Their starting middle linebacker is out also. So, like, there's no – they're missing 2 key guys on that defense. We should be able to move the ball on them. And I don't know what it is about this Andy Reid offense, but it just always looks so hard to do anything. Like, you see Denver – Bo Nix is not a good quarterback. He's just not. He's
game manager.
Terrible, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, he makes the plays that needs to be made. But also, Sean Payton has this offense that makes it easy.
Easy for him.
They do a lot of play action and have a screen. Bo Nix can run, so like if need be, it puts the defense in such a troublesome position. They make the defense have to adapt to them. Kansas City's offense does not do that. They did not make Denver adapt to them. They took a couple deep shots in the beginning of the game and then completely abandoned it, even though it looked like, hey, Mahomes is going to hit one of these. And he eventually did. He hit one to Tyquan Thornton, but they didn't keep going for it. And, it was so frustrating because on top of that, also, just why do they make why do they make things so complicated in terms of like, it's 3rd and 2 and why do you keep running it out of the shotgun, making it harder? Get under center.
I've never understood
that. Keep it simple, stupid. This has been my one gripe with Andy Reid for many years.
Yep.
He makes things too overly complicated. He tries to get too cute sometimes in situations where just give the ball to Kareem Hunt. He will get you those 2 yards, but make sure you go under center and let him gain some speed to hit the line. Don't go out of the shotgun, hand it off there, and he's got to go an extra 2 yards with the ball. So it becomes a 3rd and 4 instead of a 3rd and 2.
Yep.
And then the defense, my God, like, you don't play Christian Fulton all season, And then in this game, you decide to play him. You decide to make it, he's been a healthy scratch all season. Well, not all season. He's been kind of injured. But you finally put him on the field, and he gets burned time after time. On one of the biggest plays of the game, you have Karlaftis with their number one wide receiver. You have a safety on what's his name? It's escaping me right now. I'll grab it. On Cortland Sutton. Sutton. Yeah. You got a safety on Sutton instead of on the biggest down. You put McDuffie on him. There's no reason why he should be open. And look, I love Spags. I do. But man, just sometimes I just don't understand what the game plan was for this game. And they struggled to stop Denver when they needed to. Chris Jones actually did have a good game. Karlaftis had a good game. But aside from them two, man, that freaking defensive line can't get any damn pressure. And it's like, this is how you guys came out of a bye week? You guys had plenty of time to self-scout and address these issues. We know Kansas City decided not to make any trades. Not that I'm thinking that the Breece Hall trade would have helped at all here, because that wasn't necessarily the issue. But, a pass rusher, you need somebody to help with this pass rush. We need something, because we're not getting pressure unless we're bringing in a blitz. And we have to address the elephant in the room here. Patrick Mahomes was terrible. I glaze Patrick Mahomes a lot. Obviously, I think he is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it. But let's be honest, this game, he was awful. He was terrible. And it's not because the offensive line wasn't good. I thought the offensive line played pretty well.
He was just bad. Yeah.
It was just he played bad. Look, that drive coming out of halftime, he throws an awful pick, gets saved by a penalty, goes down the field even more, and then throws another terrible pass. It's like, dude, what are we doing here? You need to be better than this. You are regarded as the best quarterback in the world right now, that you are being compared to the greats. You can't play like this. You can't get frustrated and try to force something, and especially after you just had a terrible throw a few plays ago that saved you, that would have been a pick six. So with all that being said, it's just also, I think the coaching and play calling was awful in this game. Patrick Mahomes was not great. The receivers didn't do the best. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs did take the lead with 9.5 minutes to go, and then had 2 chances to put the game away and didn't even get a first down. That's unacceptable by the coaching staff. The lack of urgency on this team sometimes kills me, because that was something that Bieniemy brought that Matt Nagy does not. Matt Nagy and Andy Reid are too nonchalant, but Eric Bieniemy would get in players' faces and hold them accountable. And these ticky-tack penalties that keep happening. I mean, this team was super undisciplined this week, especially this, and special teams, man. Special teams is god awful on this team. And I don't know how long it's going to take for Andy Reid to get rid of this freaking special teams coach, because he can't even get Harrison Butker to hit the freaking landing zone, even though we're 11 weeks into the season. Yeah. And he knows what it's supposed to be. And then, obviously, I can't blame Butker for the blocked extra point. But at the same time, it's like, hey, guys, what the hell are we doing? And then, yeah, like I said, these dumb penalties that keep happening on kickoffs, and then the lack of explosive plays on kickoff or punt returns. Nick Remigio just hasn't gotten anything. Nothing. I have not seen him take it to the house once. This is super frustrating, man. It was frustrating. And it's more frustrating because I'm like, dude, every loss we've had this season has been because of us. Week 1 was because, we took forever to get adjusted. Granted, it was because we lost Xavier Worthy, and we had to change the game plan. It took us a while to get our feet going. But then Chris Jones has this weird mind, bluff, and goes to the inside and leaves the lane open for Herbert to go around him. Week 2, Travis Kelce obviously drops the pass that gets intercepted, and then that ends that game essentially. Barely beating the Giants. We had that stretch where we looked like we were the old Chiefs, but then since then, like, Jacksonville, you throw the 100-yard pick six essentially. It's just like we're shooting ourselves in the foot in these losses, and that's the most frustrating thing, is because last year's team wasn't necessarily that exciting to watch. It was super stressful, but at least they knew how to finish the game and would win. And, in these one-score games, we're 0-5 in one-score games. Like, we're 0-5. Like, that's crazy work. And I think it's just time that we might have that conversation that this team just might be tired, just emotionally and physically, that they've played a season's worth more of football than any other team in the NFL just by all their postseason success. And it could just be not everything is going to last forever. And maybe this is that year where they just maybe aren't going to make the playoffs and they're just tired, and that could just be it. And it could be a case like what happened to the Chicago Bulls, where, even they were saying, they were like, after we won that 6th championship, like, dude, we were done. We weren't going to go back, even if we would have kept the team together. Or like the Golden State Warriors here more recently, where they, kind of went through a couple down years after their dominant run and then eventually came back and won a championship. But yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of frustration within the fan base, especially with the coaching, because it's like, how have we gotten here? Like, we're 5-5 and now we're in a situation where we're going to have to beat the Colts. We can beat the Cowboys. But we have to beat the Cowboys. We have to beat the Broncos. We have to beat the Chargers. We have some easy games here. We have a game against Tennessee and Houston, but our margin of error is gone. We have to go on a run here. So those are my thoughts. Obviously just frustration more than anything with this team. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, you said what I was going to say towards the end, that this was a team last year that won every one-score game, and this year they're just not doing it. So what's the most surprising to me is just the fact that they don't seem to adjust. They haven't seemed this year to adjust like they have in years past when they've fallen behind or when they've had a bad series or when their defense gives up a big play. It's just not happening right now. This offense it's lackluster, to say the least. They have a couple big plays per game, especially here in the last few weeks, but overall, I mean, it doesn't look like a Patrick Mahomes-led offense, and that's just my overall takeaway. It's just how Patrick Mahomes has struggled, and it's just been very surprising to see, especially coming out of a bye week where Andy Reid it always has the team prepared. They always look sharp. Everything is just kind of weird, and it's just kind of it's kind of a theme for the rest of the NFL this season as well, that it's just been weird. We talked about in the playoff picture, it's just been like what people didn't expect, and this is just another example of that. So I don't have much else to add. I think this could be the kind of season where every team has one. It's a down season. They might not make the postseason. I think even if they do, it's going to be much harder for, I think, Kansas City to run the table than in years past. Obviously, having the number 1 or number 2 seed helps in these types of situations, but I just don't know if they have the team or the
but that's the thing, Dan, is that I do think they have the team. Talent-wise, this team is significantly better than last year's team. And that, I think, is the most frustrating thing for the Chiefs fans right now, is that we're like, dude, this team has all the talent in the world.
On paper, it's there.
Much better than what last year's team had. Now, last year's team's defense was 10 times better than the defense we have now, but it's not. We still have good pieces on the defense. Offensively, we're way better. This offensive line is way better than last year's offensive line. And yet they cannot close games. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I think you said it as well in what you're discussing. Like, Mahomes is just not Mahomes. Like, he just doesn't look comfortable right now. He doesn't look comfortable doing anything with this offense, and it's weird to see that. I don't know. It's going to be it's going to be a tough road for them to get in. Like you said, they pretty much have to win out to have any shot to make the postseason. and the margin for error, as you said at the start, is gone. So it's just strange. It's strange to see this kind of situation with Kansas City. But sometimes you need this kind of season to sort of rebuild or, kind of refresh, reset everything. And that might not be the worst thing for Kansas City at this point, to just, the season ends up whatever it is. You come back next year, you draft well, you maybe sign a couple free agents, you do a little bit more. And the biggest thing, like you said, is just to rest, because they have played a lot of football games. That's a good point. I hadn't considered all the postseason play, but yeah, it's weird. It's a very strange situation, especially at the end of the game. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me is because I just expect Kansas City to either to drive down and tie the game, or at least give themselves a chance to take the lead, and it was just flat. It was flat in the fourth quarter in this game, and it was just unexpected for me, and it was surprising to see. But those are my overall thoughts. I think you pretty much covered it from head to toe there, Carlos, for sure.
So really quick. So obviously they have this week's game against the Colts coming up. They have Thanksgiving against the Cowboys in Dallas. Then they have 2 home games against the Texans and Chargers. They go to Tennessee, and then they have Christmas against the Broncos at Arrowhead, and then they finish the season against the Raiders. This game this week is a toss-up for me. I'm not necessarily, I can't guarantee a win against the Colts because the Colts just play great football, even though I don't think they're as good as their record, but they do play great football, and Jonathan Taylor is playing lights out. I think they can beat the Cowboys. I think they can beat the Texans. I think they can beat the Chargers and then the Titans, and then they'll beat the Raiders. So they at least got 5 wins right there. And then there's just 2 up in the air games, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think you can be sure they're going to win those games. I mean, they did lose. To
No,
Jackson.
I mean we blasted the Raiders.
Well, the Raiders.
Easily.
The Raiders. Yeah, I'll give you the Raiders.
The Tennessee's not good. Houston's not that great either. Dallas's defense is still god awful.
Yeah, I agree with those. But the Chargers, I don't know. I could see them.
The Chargers are beat to hell. They don't have a line. Joe Alt is gone, and we just saw what Jacksonville did to them.
But it's still, if this was the Chiefs any other year, I would say, yeah, they could easily run the table. But I don't think it's going to be as easy this time around. Obviously, this game on Sunday, if they lose, it's a moot point anyway, right? Because the season's completely lost at that point.
I don't think the season's lost with the loss to the Colts, but it will obviously make things more difficult because if they lose that game,
you've got to go undefeated. You've got to go undefeated.
Yeah, if they lose that game, if they lose the game this week, mean, their best record they can get is 11-6.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously at that point, yes, kiss the division goodbye.
Yeah.
And then, but the teams that they would have to worry about are essentially just the Jaguars. They would need the Jaguars to lose something. They have a game against the Colts. They have a game against the Broncos. Let's say they lose both those games and then they went out.
10-7.
Actually, no, they have 2 games against the Colts. So they have 3 tough games. Let's say they lose all of those. That puts them at 10-7.
2 games against the Colts. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they still have 2 games against the Colts for the division. So even then, like the Chiefs can make it as a 6, and then the Jaguars. I don't know. It's a whole thing. I would have to go through the whole playoff scenarios. But yeah, essentially, there really is not a lot of wiggle room for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, if you lose on Sunday, you have to win out. There's really no other way. But tiebreakers come into play, and other teams could slip up. Anything's possible. But the bottom line is they have to take care of their business. That has to be the number one goal right now. Never thought we'd be having this conversation. I have to say.
Neither did I.
I didn't either.
Totally
I really
lost.
did not either.
Totally chaotic. But that's been this season, man. It's been that kind of year where it feels like there's been that every week. So.
The Denver Broncos with a win over the Kansas City Chiefs. That wraps up the home team report. Coming up next, the best segment on the Kirby on Sports podcast, the Kirby on Sports PickEm, and that comes your way next. Are you looking to take the final steps in order to get your driver's license? Look no further. On the Road Driving School offers teen and adult driving, along with classroom sessions for teens and adults, DMV re-exam classes, and driver improvement classes. On the Road Driving School has what you need in order to get on the road. Contact them today at 540-869-6105. That's On the Road Driving School. 540-869-6105. On the Road Driving School will get you on the road. Fall is here, and New Look Landscaping has everything your home needs to look its best. Brighten your yard with colorful mums available now. And don't forget, New Look offers professional power washing to give your home a fresh, clean look. Call New Look Landscaping today at 540-327-1244 or email them 2025.nullook@gmail.com. Here we go. The best segment on the Kirby on Sports podcast, the Kirby on Sports Pick'em. I'm with the weapon, Dan Dembski, and the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez. Carlos, let's work the magic and see what we're working with on this week's Pick'ems.
I mean, you're working with nothing because you're still in last place today.
No, I just said it general.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the best segment, America's favorite segment, from this good to average podcast, the Kirby on Sports Pick'ems for Week 12 of the NFL season. As I quickly pull some things up, not the best week for Josh Kirby, that's for certain. The current standings are your forever champion at this point.
You're looking at him, yeah.
Is in first place at 42-23. This podcast's favorite number 2 is at 39-26, Dan Dembski, and our resident basement dweller stuck in the Kirby zone, as always, 37-28. Games we will be picking this week are Chiefs against the Colts, the Rams against the Bucks, the Cowboys against the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly will be rocking the Kelly Greens, by the way.
Every division game.
Green Bay against Minnesota, Chicago against Pittsburgh, and Arizona against Jacksonville. I will go first, as always, as your three-time 1,000-day reigning champion. I will take the... Hold on, I'm pulling this one up real quick. Okay, I have it. Okay, I will take the Kansas City Chiefs over the Indianapolis Colts, as I'm contractually obligated to. I will take the Los Angeles Rams over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because I think overall the Rams are just playing great football. Matthew Stafford is playing at an MVP level, and Tampa Bay, obviously they are coming off of a tough loss against Buffalo, which they played pretty decently well. But I just think that they're not going to win in Los Angeles. I just think Los Angeles is just a better team. I'm going to take the Eagles over the Cowboys. Obviously, I'm not impressed with how the Eagles have been playing lately. We're at week 12 at this point. I just don't think they're going to be great offensively, but their defense is very good. And the trades that they made have panned out perfectly. And I just think Dallas, even though they just blew out the Raiders, their defense just still isn't trustworthy. And I just think Philly goes into Dallas and wins. I'm going to take the Packers over the Vikings. Despite the Packers also looking very lackluster here recently, Minnesota is just terrible with J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy is not a great quarterback. I'm not ready to give up on him. Let's see how it looks as he gets more playing time. But just not overly impressed with how Minnesota's played. I'm going to take Chicago over Pittsburgh, especially with that Aaron Rodgers injury. I just think Chicago right now, they're on a roll. They're playing great. And I'm going to take them to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then I will take the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Arizona Cardinals, because Arizona just is not a good team. And Jacksonville can be very hot or cold. You know, 1 minute they're beating, the Chargers by, 30 something points. And then another week they're losing to a high school football team. You just never know.
Yeah.
So with that, I will throw it over to this podcast's favorite number 2, my esteemed co-host when Josh Kirby is not here.
Yes.
The OG Pick'ems champion.
That's right.
Before and the Josh Allen to my Patrick Mahomes, Dan Dembski.
Carlos, thank you so much, as always. So in order to be different from the other pickers, I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts over the Kansas City Chiefs. It feels like every game this year for the Colts has been when are they going to slip up moment, and I'm still kind of waiting for it to happen. But that being said, I think Daniel Jones and company do get a signature win here at Arrowhead. A very difficult place to play, difficult place to win, but I think Daniel Jones and this offense get it done. Jonathan Taylor, I think, as we all have seen so far this season, is going to play a big role in this game against Kansas City's run defense, and I think he will have a good game to put them over the edge in this one. I'm going to take the Rams over the Bucks. Carlos pretty much nailed this. It's Matt Stafford is playing unbelievably right now. Really tough loss. The Tampa Bay's coming off of, and I just think the Rams are one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now, and I think it stays that way. Here at home, I think they take down Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay. I'm going to take the Eagles over the Dallas Cowboys. Quite simply, Dallas's defense, as we have alluded to on this podcast and on previous ones, is not very good. So that being said, I think also the Eagles' offense has not necessarily been impressive, but this could be a game where they kind of look like the Eagles of last year, where they have a big game against a defense that's really bad. And I could see that happening in this game for sure. I could see A.J. Brown having a big game, potentially for the Eagles and making a difference. So that being said, I will take the Eagles to go on the road and take down the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers over the Minnesota Vikings. I just think you're looking at a tale of two different teams right now. I know the Packers have had their struggles over the last couple of weeks, especially not this week, but the week before. But the Vikings are kind of a mess right now. And I trust the Packers more at Lambeau at home to be able to take care of the Vikings, and I think they will. I will be taking the Bears over the Pittsburgh Steelers. As Carlos alluded to, obviously Aaron Rodgers' injury, he will be out for at least this game, probably longer. And I just really like what Caleb Williams and this offense have been able to do so far. The biggest thing for me is he's protecting the football. Going to be a tough assignment against a really good Steelers pass rush, a really good Steelers defense. But this is a chance for Caleb Williams to play an elite defense and have a good game. And I think the Bears will come out on top. And then lastly, I will be taking the Jacksonville Jags over the Arizona Cardinals. I think this is the easiest game to pick in our pick'ems this week. I mean, the Cardinals are a mess. Pretty much, I would say, general rule this season, you can always pick against them in these types of matchups. So that being said, I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars. With that, I will throw it to the host, co-founder, and CEO of this Good to Average podcast, Josh Kirby. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dan. For my picks this week, I will be taking the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they have a bounce-back game against the Indianapolis Colts. That's just in my mind, so I'm rolling with the Chiefs. Matt Stafford in the Los Angeles Rams, in my opinion, have been playing very red hot. I think that continues against Tampa Bay. However, I think Tampa Bay puts up a valiant effort in this matchup, but I think the Rams just do a little bit more to get this win. I'm picking the Kelly Green Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Eagles, although they haven't been playing the best, I think they can overcome and defeat this Dallas Cowboys team. I think the Packers will take care of business against the Vikings. The Vikings just inconsistent with J.J. McCarthy. I'll be taking the Bears over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers with his injury, not sure what the time frame looks like on if he's out, and if so, what the time frame is. I'll be taking the Bears, and I will be taking the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Arizona Cardinals. And those are my picks. And what's unique about my picks, Me and Carlos have the same picks this week.
Yep. So nothing can change.
Dan
Nope.
can just gain one from us
I'm
if
the
the
only
Chiefs
difference.
lose.
Either
That is
way, your boy's staying in first place.
Yeah,
whether
Carlos
it
is
be,
not moving.
I mean, look, I have a 3-game lead on Dan. I have a 5-game lead on Kirby.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's starting to become crazy for Kirby.
Because I stink. That's why.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Anyways, so a little history before we go. Going into week 12 last year, I was in first place. Of course I was. When am I not in first place? It feels like at 45-21. Dan was in second place at 44 and 22. So he was behind by 1 game. Clearly not keeping pace with himself this year.
Yeah.
And Kirby was 41-25. Clearly not keeping pace with himself this year either.
Yeah.
And even in this last year, he was 3 games behind, and obviously he ended up finishing, only 1 game out from winning the damn thing.
Brutal way to lose.
But it's not looking good for Josh Kirby right now, going right back to his old ways. I told you, Kirby. I told you it was gonna bite you in the ass. It was gonna eventually happen. There's 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes. Kirby's gonna screw up on the pick'ems.
It's all good. It's called the Kirby Zone for a reason. All right, it's got that name. It didn't get that by accident. All right, I mean.
Well, listen, when you lose it 4 years in a row, like, come on, my guy, please.
Brutal.
Kirby, I am begging you. I'm begging you. Beat me, please. It would be such a beautiful story. It would. I would be like genuinely happy that it was you that dethroned me. But here's the thing that you guys don't realize, boys. I have a secret picker picking along with us.
Oh my God.
Huh?
And I'm not going to reveal who that person is, but they have been making picks with us this whole season. And they are currently beating the both of you.
What, off the record, or how's this working? Like, what details
they are also making picks.
Okay.
Every game that we pick, I give them the list as well. They are making their picks.
Just for craps and giggles, I guess?
They are making their picks. And they are officially part of the pick'ems. I just haven't told you guys.
What? Whoa.
But they are beating the both of you.
It's embarrassing.
They are in second place. 1 game behind me. How embarrassing will it be when we get to the Super Bowl show and I bring on this special guest picker?
Yeah.
Because they are now the new Pick'ems champion and they beat me 1 year doing this, and you did it, Dan. So you don't fall into this category. But this stooge,
I've won it. Yeah, exactly.
This stooge right here, whose name is on the logo, has never won it.
It's crazy.
So who is this guest picker?
Don't worry about it.
It's a surprise.
Don't worry about it.
So let me ask you, is this guest picker, do they like the podcast?
This guest picker doesn't even watch sports.
That's the worst part.
This guest picker doesn't watch football. They have their own formula for how they pick these games.
Yeah.
And they're kicking your guys' butts right now. This is embarrassing, Kirby.
It's embarrassing.
Be embarrassed.
All
Do
right.
better.
Well,
do better.
Boys, I have some good news.
It's the end of the show.
We get next week off?
Yep, you all get next week off.
Woo! We don't have to listen to Kirby's awful Thanksgiving takes, but in the spirit of Thanksgiving, since we are not going to be on and we're not
I
going
can't
to
believe it's almost Thanksgiving. Can you?
Dude, remember I get ready for this like year round. This is my Super Bowl.
Yeah,
like
this is it.
Yes,
brother, this is my Super Bowl. I'm excited.
Yep.
All right, we already got plans. I have a bunch of guests that I'm gonna have to cook for because we got Canadians coming down. Hate that country.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I can't believe it's here.
So in the spirit of that, boys, what are we thankful for?
Oh man,
You're putting me on the spot. I'm thankful for the two men I am virtually recording with right now. Two legends in my eyes.
Oh,
He loves using the legend word.
Oh,
He
you
just
kiss
loves it.
ass. Oh,
I'm thankful for all of you all who take time out of your evening to check us out, the Kirby on Sports podcast.
You don't know what time they're listening to this.
Yeah,
It could be any time of day.
that's true. Any time of day.
I'm grateful. I'm thankful for my family for sure.
Yeah.
Through good times and bad for sure.
I'm thankful for
I'm
three
fortunate.
things.
Yep. And they're right there.
Betty, Sophia, and Heather. They're so pretty, aren't they? Yeah.
All right. On that note, can we end the podcast, please?
Our sponsors, Frederick County Parks and Rec, PM Plus Reserve, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett, Pest and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, New Look Landscaping, The Cider House, Barry Pearson with Equipment Share Advanced Solutions at 540-935-1069, and the official energy drink sponsor of the Kirby on Sports podcast, Don't Sleep Energy. Use promo code KOS Podcast for 12% off your order every single time. Find us everywhere you get your podcasts, YouTube. Follow us, like, comment, and subscribe. For Dan, Carlos, I'm Josh. We're off next week. Wishing you a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and we will catch you next time.